Are you thinking about getting your cat a new cat tree, or picking out a litter box for them, or trying to figure out which scratching post is best? Good news! I'm going to help you wade through the sea of junky cat products out there and pick out ones that your cat will actually like and they'll use. Best of all, this is going to help you prevent behavior issues with your cat that are related to the environment because you picked out something that cats actually hate. At the very end is a special bonus. I want to talk about actual cat furniture. I'm talking mini couches and other fun things. And because why would the bonus stop there? I'm going to share a very cute picture of one of my cats, Poutine, Prozac, or Zoloft, that you'll have to stick around until the end to figure out which one. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. Let's get going because there's a lot to cover. This is going to be comprehensive. You're going to learn a lot. First, we should go over cat trees because they are something that are so important to cats' well-being. I want to cover why cat trees are important, what to look for in a cat tree, and what types of things cats like, and then also make a few specific recommendations about cat trees that are unique or that serve a weird function or that just have something kind of cool about them. When we get to litter boxes and scratching posts, I'm going to cover the same topics. Cat trees are incredibly important for cats. If you don't have a cat tree for your cat, you're probably going to run into all sorts of behavior concerns. Even if you just have one, depending on where it is, or if it's not one that is designed with cats in mind and is instead designed to just minimize the appearance of the cat tree, you're going to still run into problems. Cats naturally need to climb. It's a behavioral need that they have. Some cats will climb more than others, but generally cats are going to love going upwards. Some older cats will climb less than younger cats because things may be getting creaky and they may ache a little bit. But if you notice any significant decrease in their desire to climb, or you notice that they're hesitating a lot, it's worth talking to your veterinarian. Your veterinarian is your friend, especially when it comes to older cats. They're going to be able to help you pick out if there's anything that can be done to help your cat feel more comfortable. In multi-cat homes, cat trees become even more important because if you don't have enough space in your home, cats are going to become really territorial and it's going to decrease the chances of them getting along. If your cats can't get out of the way of each other, for example, in a hallway, they'll be more likely to fight. Cat trees can help prevent this. Cat trees are also a great alternative to climbing on your counters or to getting on furniture that you don't like. Some of them may have other functions too, where they may have other things built in. For example, you can find cat trees that have little teeny tiny pots that you can grow cat grass in. So, hey, multiple things for your cats. Basically, it benefits you more than anyone else to get a cat tree. Even more than your cat. You ultimately win by setting up an environment that is cat-friendly. Now, what types of things do cats like in a cat tree? Generally, taller is going to be better because tall cat trees are going to have multiple perches. So even if your cat doesn't want to go up to the very top of the cat tree, they have a choice, and cats love having options. If you have multiple cats, that means that one cat could be on one perch and another cat could be on another perch. That doesn't mean that you can't supplement a cat tree that's nice and tall with a medium-sized or small perch, but don't skimp on the height. You'll regret it. Cats may also like cat trees that have little nests or pockets in them, or a place to hide that's elevated so they can feel safe, and some cat trees come with other features that can be appealing to your cats. Some might have scratching posts on them. That said, some of the scratching posts aren't actually great. It doesn't mean that cats hate all built-in scratchers on cat trees. A lot of them use them. Actually, both of my cats like the scratchers that are in their cat trees. We have quite a few around here. Some of the scratchers that are built into cat trees may have too small of a surface area, or there may be a platform that blocks off part of it so they can't get a nice, long, satisfying scratch in. We'll get more into what cats like in a scratcher in a moment, but just know that sometimes having a scratcher on a cat tree is not quite enough for your cats. Especially if you get a tall cat tree, you want to look for a tree that is nice and sturdy. You don't want to pick out something that your cat or a slight breeze are going to knock over, because that could be a safety concern for your cats and actually could be a safety concern for you. It may also knock something else over, and I mean, it could break things that you probably don't want broken, or it could start a fire. We could get really dramatic here, but basically it benefits you and your cats from a safety standpoint to have a well-built cat tree. If you do pick out a cat tree, or you happen to have one that you're hearing this and you're like, oh crap, you can always get wall mounting kits. A lot of cat trees do come with these days, but they're not something that a lot of people think to be like, oh yeah, I should actually use this. I know I used to be like, I don't need this. But then I realized, hey, it's probably better to try and attach this to the walls so that it's nice and sturdy. If your cat tree doesn't come with one, you can easily order them online. Cats also like having nice, cozy places to rest. Now, some cats are going to be totally okay with a smooth surface of, for example, a wooden cat tree, but generally, if you give them something soft to either rest on or to walk on, that will help them enjoy their cat tree more. It may also help prevent them from slipping off as they're running and playing, because cat trees are both designed for rest and for play. If you have multiple cats, if you can find one, you want to have a cat tree that has multiple perches that the very top one is equal to each other. Now, a lot of cat trees tend to have one pinnacle perch where it's the top perch. And it's not that cats can't learn to share that perch. The cats will often do a time-sharing type of situation where they'll rotate out who uses each resource. If you can find one that has multiple perches that are at the same height, and especially the top perch, that means that your cats can use them at the same time. So if they both want to be in that location, great. You could also get a really big perch, because that basically serves the same function. Or you could just get 2 cat trees. More cat trees is not going to hurt anything. Because it can be sometimes kind of hard to pick out what types of things your cat wants or what things they're looking for, getting a cat tree that has a variety of features can be helpful. There are a lot of really cool cat trees out there, and some of them you can pick out your own features, which we're going to talk about in a second. Pick out something that has variety for your cat. That way, they can choose where they feel like hanging out that day. I'm not going to go super in-depth into this because I want to make a full video on this because it's a little bit more complicated than just setting up a cat tree, but cat shelves are a great alternative. And don't forget that you can always use a cat tree to help your cat get up to cat shelves if you want to install them. Cat shelves aren't going to be an option for everyone because, for example, if you rent and your landlord won't let you put them in or your walls won't support the cat shelves, you can't really use them. However, they are a good option. Again, I'm focusing on cat trees for now, though. Let's talk about a few unique options for cat trees. Before we get any further, I do need to disclose that I am an affiliate for some of the companies that I'm going to mention, so if you purchase using one of the links in the description, I do earn a small commission for that. To be perfectly clear, though, these are not paid product placement. These are only because I really like them. First one is modular cat trees, which I kind of mentioned earlier. These are mix and match style cat trees that you can get a lot of different pieces to them, that you can pick out what your cat tree looks like, so you can uniquely individualize it to your cat. Depending on which modular cat tree you get, you're going to have different options of features. So pick out one that seems to have a lot of different things that your cat will like. I really like the one from Omelette because you attach it from floor to ceiling via a pole, and you can add little pieces to it as you go, where you can put on unique platforms, and they've got planters, and they've got nests, and they've got little bridges that you can add. There's a lot of options on there. You can also pick over-the-door cat trees, which are great for small spaces. I have one in my bedroom on my door to my walk-in closet because sometimes these two get a little bit spicy in that area, and they want to get out of the way of each other, and that has helped reduce tension significantly. It allows me to add vertical space and more place for the cats to climb in an area where I normally wouldn't be able to do that. And best of all, it just folds up when you press on it, so it doesn't take up room if I need to get through there. This isn't really a cat tree, but my dudes are currently sleeping in their desk nests, which go above your desk, and there's something that they attach on with a clamp, so they're a great way of keeping your cat off your keyboard, and they're super cozy in it, so hey, everybody wins. My dudes will actually just go and sleep in these on their own, even when I'm not in here. And finally, there's a lot of what I'm gonna just call weird cat trees out there, where you can find some that look like anything that you would like. I've seen spaceships, you name it, I've probably seen a cat tree shaped like it. Whatever your aesthetic is, there's a cat tree that can fit it. If you want something really nice, there are cat trees out there that look really nice. Just because you don't want your home to look look ugly doesn't mean that you can't put a cat tree in there. Actually, I would go so far as to say, even if you are concerned about how your home looks, if you have a cat, you do need to meet their behavioral needs, and having places for them to climb that are acceptable is part of that. I know that historically people have thought that you can get away with not providing your cats with a lot of things, but that has actually created a lot of stress and behavior problems in cats. And adding in a cat tree is a great way to prevent those issues. So please, find something that looks nice to you and get it for your cat. There's a lot of cool brands out there that make really nice, really gorgeous looking cat furniture these days. Moving on from cat trees to probably people's least favorite part of having a cat, but I'd argue actually an advantage over dogs, is the litter box. Litter boxes, the giant box of sand that your cat takes a dump in. This is a particularly contentious thing for a lot of cat owners, where it often can feel like a fight between the needs of the cat and the cat. It's hopefully kind of obvious why litter boxes are important. Do you want your cat to pee on the floor? Probably not. If you don't want your cat to pee on the floor, then you need to provide them with an acceptable place to use the bathroom. And a litter box is a way of doing that. And one of the nice things about litter boxes is that cats just instinctually tend to go to them, where you don't really have to do any actual, to quote, training for it if you get an adult cat. They just know what they like and they go there. That said, if you get it wrong, it's often at least part of the culprit for the litter box problems that people will see. I want to add a little disclaimer before we go any further with litter boxes, and please listen to this because it's important. A lot of you are not going to like the things that I say about litter boxes, and some of you are going to be using some of the litter boxes that I'm going to suggest that you don't use. Please listen to what I have to say about them, because your cats may be an exception to it, or you may be misinterpreting some of your cats' behavior, but that doesn't mean that they're things that most cats like. Just because a cat uses a litter box doesn't necessarily mean that they like it, especially if you don't offer them an alternative, or if the alternative that you offer them is actually worse than the one that you're offering them. This is information to help cat people pick out the best litter box that they can. And you may have a particularly tolerant cat. I share this because ultimately it does benefit you to pick out a litter box that your cat likes. If you don't pick out a litter box that your cat likes, you can't force them to use something that they don't like. They're just going to go on your floor. It benefits you. I'm going to repeat myself yet again. It benefits you to pick out a good litter box for your cat. Now that we have that aside, let's talk about what makes a good litter box for your cat. The first thing is that it should be easy to get in and out of. So if you have a top entry box, I'm sorry, but cats hate them. I have a lot of clients that I get because of top entry litter boxes. You can save yourself a lot of money from hiring a cat behavior professional by not using a top entry litter box. You also want to pick something that's bigger because cats like having a lot of space to dig, and they like to be able to survey their area and feel secure and have a large surface area. That actually seems to be really important to cats, is the size of the surface area that they can dig in. Cats do prefer open top, and this is not just something I'm making up, it's something that there's actual research on this. And cats also like having their litter box scooped regularly. There was a study that was done a couple of years ago where they compared basically fake poop and fake pee to actual poop and actual pee from a different cat, and cats didn't seem to care about whether or not another cat used the box. They preferred something that had a soft and clean and didn't have a lot of chunks in it type of substrate in the litter box, which substrate is another fancy way of saying litter. Cats care more about feeling secure in their litter box than they would about any sort of privacy. So getting a covered litter box because your cat wants privacy, it's not really how it works. They prefer being able to survey things. And cats also really don't like litter boxes that have a flap on them, because even though it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to us, it's an extra step that they have to do it. And remember that cats are much smaller than we are. Adding in that extra flap is going to create work for the cat that you don't want to make it hard for your cat to choose to use the litter box. You want to make it really easy for them to go in there and be like, cool, I'm going to grab my newspaper and then I'm going to poop. We should also probably talk about the self-cleaning litter boxes. I know that people like them, and I know that they claim to have a lot of benefits to them. And there are some cats that are just so exquisitely finicky and that will use them, and some of them may pick them over another style of box. However, I get a lot of business because of them. I help a lot of people solve their litter box issue, and the solution that ends up happening is I tell them to get rid of the self-cleaning box. Not really any of them that are out there today are designed in a way that appeals to cats. They have a lot of problems, and a lot of them have a lot of barriers for cats. So until the manufacturers of the self-cleaning litter boxes improve their designs, I don't recommend them. I realize that all of these litter boxes, top entry boxes or self-cleaning ones, or other things that we like but cats don't like, do provide a benefit to us, and there are some reasons where you might need a box that meets a certain criteria because of somebody's litter box habits. However, keep in mind that every time you make a compromise on things that your cats like, you are making it less and less likely that they're going to use the litter box, especially as they get older or when they get stressed. It benefits you to pick out and set up a litter box that your cat likes, and picking out something that is based on what cats actually like and not what we prefer. Also, in most cases, you can probably find something that still meets the needs of the cat and that also meets your needs, just in a different way. With litter boxes, you don't really want to get creative. I don't usually recommend things like litter box furniture because, again, they create a barrier. They also make it so people are less likely to scoop because even though they aren't that hard to open the door, you scoop it out and dump it into, for example, a litter genie, which we're going to talk about that in a second, they are still that much extra work for us that we are going to be less likely to scoop. Plus, they also contain the odor, so it's stinkier for cats who have a stronger sense of smell than we do, and we don't get a reminder that, hey, you might want to scoop the box. I know that's not pleasant, but it's actually a good thing. And if your cats get sick and there's some reason you need to take your cat to a veterinarian, you don't get that olfactory signal. Those olfactory signals, which is a fancy way of saying stinky signals, are actually a good thing. They help your veterinarian determine if there's something that's going wrong. And I'm a big fan of making life easier for veterinarians because they are there to help you and help your cats. So anything we can do and any extra information that might be helpful to them, it's going to be a good thing. I mentioned something earlier about a litter genie. What is a litter genie? It's probably my favorite cat product related to litter boxes out there. A litter genie is a diaper pail, essentially, that is designed for cat litter. I'm sure you could probably use a diaper genie for it, too. I think they're made by the same company. I don't work for the company. I don't know for sure. Either way, the litter genie changed my life. You set it right next to your litter box, you open it, and you just scoop right into it. And then after it gets full, you just take it and chuck it. It allows you to not have to empty the litter or to have to scoop things too much for couple of weeks in some cases, depending on how often that particular box is used, and also what size you get. There are things I recommend to clients all the time, especially clients that do not scoop regularly. Again, I use them myself. They are awesome. I also am a big fan of litter trapping mats. Now, not all litter trapping mats are great. Some of them are actually kind of hard to clean, but I really like ones that have a honeycomb pattern on them because the litter goes in, you can just squeeze it and dump it back in the box if you'd like, or dump it in the trash, or dump it in your litter genie. They make it so that it's a lot easier to clean up and that there's less tracking. And that solves a lot of the issues that things like chunky litters would solve. However, unlike chunky litters, your cat isn't going to stop using the litter box because of them. This is something that is a better option for controlling litter tracking. Earlier I mentioned somebody, Prozac, who has some litter box habits that are sometimes a little bit frustrating, and I don't want to make it seem like he's doing anything wrong. He just happens to be a high peer. Rather than getting a top entry litter box or something covered for that, I made my own litter box out of a storage tub. It's not that hard to do. I'm going to explain it here in, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but it's not going to be that long, probably less than 30 seconds. I'm actually going to spend more time probably explaining how long it's going to take me to explain how to make a litter box out of a storage tub than I will actually explaining how to do it. Ready, set, let's go. So you take a storage tub and you take all the rage that you have inside of you and you take a box cutter and you just cut it out and you make a nice big hole and then you sand it down, Or you take some duct tape and you cover it up and bam, you have a litter box. Wow, that took me probably less than 15 seconds. I didn't time it out. Whatever, that's not the point. It's really easy. It takes less than 10 minutes to make them. Bonus, you can use the lid from the storage box as a litter tray to catch litter. That's what I do with my litter boxes. I have 2 of these, and my cats use them consistently, and guess what? Prozac doesn't pee over the side of the box. It keeps the pee contained, and because Poutine is a very, very, very avid digger after he takes a poop, I don't have litter fly everywhere because of it. They're a great option, and again, they're actually going to be less expensive than most commercially available litter boxes, and they meet the needs of the cat. Phew, okay, litter boxes, that was a whirlwind. Let's talk about scratchers, and then remember, we're gonna get to the fun part where we talk about mini cat furniture, and there is the special bonus picture of either Poutine, Prozac, or Zoloft. You will have to stick around to figure out which one it is. It's adorable, though you want to be around for it. Scratching posts, why are they important? They contain a natural, normal behavior for cats, which is scratching. Cats need to scratch. It is a normal thing for them to do. It helps them get stress out, it helps them sharpen their claws, and it also is a communication tool for cats. In multi-cat homes, scratching posts serve to reduce tension between multiple cats, especially if you put them in really prominent locations. It's basically the cat's way of, I don't know, tagging something if they were to be like a graffiti artist, but maybe a little bit less artistic than most graffiti artists, because there's a lot of cool graffiti art out there. That's not the topic of this video, though, so let's keep going and talking about scratching posts. Your cat needs to scratch. If you don't offer them places to scratch, and don't offer them places to scratch that they like, they're going to scratch your furniture, your rugs, or other things that you probably don't want them scratching. So once again, it benefits you to pick out something that your cat likes, and it benefits you to have cat furniture that is in multiple locations and to have multiple pieces of cat furniture. Oh, did I mention that for the first time? With scratching posts, I see a lot of people who especially are consulting me for destructive scratching that don't have enough scratching posts. You probably want more than one scratching post, even within the same room. It benefits you to give your cat multiple options. Worst case scenario, your cat has another place to go and scratch and get out a behavioral need and get out their stress. Oh no, what a terrible outcome. Best case scenario, you prevent your furniture from being destroyed. Everybody wins. What types of things do cats like in a scratcher? Cats like things that they can catch their claws in. You want something that will help them snag at their claws and that will provide a little bit of resistance for them. Think things like that Cecil rope material that's very common in cat scratchers, or Cecil carpet, or regular types of fabric. Actually, this type of chair is a good scratching material for cats. Any sort of like knit fabric can work well. Some cats really like wood as well too. If your cat is scratching something that you don't want them to, that's actually a good piece of information to have, because you should find a scratcher that's acceptable, that meets that need. Cats also like a long or tall surface area because they really like digging their claws in and getting a nice stretch in. Remember too that some cats like to scratch down, and some like to scratch to the side, and some like to scratch at an angle. So you want to provide a variety of different surfaces. With scratching posts, and I will admit I have fallen victim to this before. Back before I knew what I was doing, back when I had first gotten Zoloft, I wanted to get him a scratcher. Even though unfortunately his old owners had him declawed, he still liked to go and paw at things. I really wish he wasn't declawed, because it's something that has a lot of consequences down the line, and destructive scratching is very, very easy to manage. However, because he did enjoy pawing at things, I was like, let's get him a scratcher, and he did. However, for my current 2 dudes, the scratcher that I got him, it's not the favorite one. You want to spend a little bit more on a scratcher that your cats will actually like, because they are going to be more likely to use it. This is something that's a theme with any piece of cat furniture. If you pick out something that's higher quality, your cats are going to be more likely to use it. You're going to be less likely to be frustrated because you wasted your money and your cat isn't using it. you are going to reap the rewards of picking out a high-quality piece of furniture for your cat. Once again, it benefits you. It isn't just for your cat. I would argue that things being for your cat are also for you if you're anything like me and you're just like, yeah, I want to just spend all my money on my cats, but that's a separate topic entirely. Another thing that cheap scratchers in particular don't really live up to is that they tend to not be very sturdy. You don't want something that you will look at it funny and it'll fall over. You want something that has a lot of oomph to it, and that's kind of heavy so then your cats can really dig their claws in. That's a theme with scratchers, really digging their claws in. That's actually part of why a lot of furniture is really appealing to cats, especially if you don't offer them something else in that area. Your cat's going to be like, oh heck yes, I am going and claws into your couch. If you offer them something more appealing, they're going to be like, I don't know. You might need to strategically place a scratcher, or you might need to use one of the tools that we'll talk about here in a second, but it's something that it is worth it to give your cat a really nice scratching post and to place it in a prominent location where cats like to scratch. When in doubt, if you're not sure, ask yourself, do you actually like that piece of furniture? Or is there something that you can find at like a thrift store or for that expensive that, hey, you could just give your cat what I like to call a sacrificial chair, where you sacrifice the chair to your cat. No, it does not involve any blood or deities or anything like that. It just involves giving your cat something that they like that isn't typically something that we would give them. So again, getting your cat a chair isn't typical for most people. However, it's something that if that is what your cat wants to scratch, just keep a chair there and then they'll stay away from your other chairs. No big deal. Your cat may also use it as a perch. Hey, you just added in vertical space. Two uses for one thing. A chair seems like a great scratcher for your cat. And no, you aren't going to train your cats to scratch your other furniture by doing this. Your cat just scratches where they find that meets their needs. Your cat doesn't have a sense of right or wrong, and they don't care about morality. They care more about, this is a place that I want to scratch. So don't stress too much about that. Let's go into some unique scratchers, and again, reminder, affiliates, blah, 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 blah. I earn a commission if you purchase something using the links in the description, blah, 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 blah. Poutine gets snacks, blah, 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 blah. One of my favorite things is cat carpet scratchers that are self-adhesive, which I think I have some of those sitting around here, but they're over there. So let's awkwardly go because before I started filming, I forgot to put it next to me. Oops. Making up for some of my mistakes. Oops. Going to create destruction. Oh, this is awkward. Okay, pretend I'm prepared and I know what I'm doing. Self-adhesive carpet scratchers. These are great because you can put them on, for example, the back of this chair. I'm not going to turn all the way around because I'm sitting too close to my microphone and I don't want to knock it over. Self-adhesive carpet scratchers are great because they protect your furniture and they provide a scratching location. These are better than deterrents because they still allow your cat to meet that need in a location that they can, and they take advantage of how sturdy whatever it is that you're putting them on is, so that's going to automatically be appealing to your cat. Plus, they are a material that's similar to, again, a knitted or upholstery type of fabric that your cat probably is scratching. So if you have a couch that your cat is scratching, take the self-adhesive scratching carpet, put it on there, and then allow them to scratch in that location. Again, they're not going to learn that it's acceptable to scratch in that area because they don't care about that. They just scratch where they want. If you're having trouble with it sticking to that, you can always get something that's a little bit harder and stick it to that and then put it in that location. However, it's not a great idea to just use something that's designed to drive your cat away from scratching in that area, because what ends up happening is they just find another spot on the couch and then they'll scratch there. I recommend the scratching carpets and allowing your cat to scratch in that area rather than using a deterrent. You can always remove it if you're concerned about the way that it looks, and you can replace it once it gets destroyed. The other thing that I grabbed during my mishap earlier, where I forgot to grab my props, are these oval scratching beds, which both Poutine and Prozac love. These are awesome because they allow your cat to sit in them, and they're a nice scratching area for them, so it serves two needs. I often find my two cuties being, well, cuties, and curled up in each of theirs, which I keep right behind me on the ground. They love these. The other scratcher that a lot of my clients' cats love are the infinity-shaped scratchers. I actually haven't gotten around to getting one, which maybe I'll go add one to my... Nope, we're not going to go online shopping, Joey. We are filming a video. Infinity-shaped scratchers are shaped like an infinity symbol, and they have a nice dip that your cat will like sitting in. And they're nice and big, and they're made of cardboard, which a lot of cats like scratching. I have a lot of clients who rave about them. Speaking of raves, we're about to be talking about a cat rave, and if you're photosensitive, this would be a great time to tune away for about 5 to 10 seconds. We're gonna see. It's gonna be wild though for the rest of you. Woo! Cat rave! Video editing effects, woo! Okay, we're done. One of the coolest scratching posts out there that actually is a good scratching post, it's not just a weird novelty thing, is the one from Omelette that has built-in LED lights, and you can put on a little light show for your cats and for you. So it's decorative, it's kinda unique, it's fun, and your cat can have their own rave. You could rub some catnip or silvervine on it and make it a real rave, basically. They are so cool and so fun, and there's not really anything else like that out there. We are moments away from revealing which of my cats' pictures is going to be shared, and you are going to die from how cute it is, so get ready. First, even more cuteness, because we're talking mini cat furniture. Yes, I promised you that this would happen. Oh boy, it's exciting. So, there are a lot of really cute pieces of mini cat furniture out there that meet a behavioral need of the cats. A great example, scratchers. Hey, look, it all ties in. There's a lot of cool sofa scratchers out there that are shaped like couches that your cat can go and just lounge on and look really cute, and then they can scratch on the scratcher rather than your actual couch. You can give your cat a couch to scratch rather than your couch. Whoa, what a weird solution, but an awesome solution. I also... Oh, it's not on camera. I thought it would be on camera. Once again, I have failed here. You're going to grab it. You can get your cat a mini laptop if you'd like. I know this isn't traditional furniture, but hey, it kind of counts. And plus, it's so cool, isn't it? Your cat will go and they will lay on it rather than laying on your laptop. I did a weird science experiment for my blog where I tried one of these a couple years ago. I'm gonna just put a link in the description because I wrote it like a scientific paper, and I don't know, I'm kind of proud of it even a few years later, so I suggest you go look at it. I'm gonna go put this back though. If you don't want to get a scratcher for your cat that's shaped like furniture, there are actual pieces of tiny furniture that you can get that are made for cats. You can also make your own. I crocheted a couch for Zoloft a couple years ago, and he loved it. It was one of those things that, oh man, was it a fun project. I'll include a link so that you can purchase the pattern if you are interested in making one of your own. It does require some crocheting skills, but it's actually not as intimidating as it sounds. Crochet is nice because you can just kind of make the structure however you like, so it works well for pieces of tiny cat furniture. If you don't feel like making your own, here's another secret. Go to Target, and I say this as a Minnesotan who I love Target, and I'm legally obligated to go there at least once a week. Target has a lot of children's furniture. There's no reason that your cat can't sit on a tiny armchair that's designed for a child. I'm not gonna call the cops on you. Even if I did, they'd be like, dude, you're wasting our time. Sometimes repurposing things that are meant for humans is the best way to go. And tiny furniture happens to be something that just go to the children's section and see what types of tiny furniture there is. Grab it for your cat and take a cute picture. Feel free to share the cute pictures with me because I love getting cute pictures of cats in tiny furniture. Okay, speaking of cute pictures and cats in tiny furniture, this should not shock you that the photo I promised you is going to be of a cat in a tiny piece of furniture. It's my picture of Zoloft. I miss him a lot, and I just wanted to share this cute picture of him sitting on the couch that I crocheted for him. It's a very special piece of furniture, and one of the nice things about this is that I did a really thorough job of trying to make it so that it would be something that would hold up. And Poutine actually in particular likes going and laying on it. So it's something that cats for many generations of cats will hopefully get to enjoy this couch and have a connection with Zoloft, their predecessor. I still have to finish sewing together the teeny tiny little Afghan that's part of the pattern that I made all the granny squares for it, but I haven't put them together. However, that takes time and it's just something I keep putting off. So I will probably at some point actually finish doing that, and I'll try posting a picture. So if you want to see what the teeny tiny little cat Afghan looks like, hit subscribe. Actually, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about cat furniture or other things about cat behavior, hit subscribe, because I got a lot of other things in the works. I've said this a few times, but remember, getting good cat furniture benefits you. It doesn't just benefit your cat. Providing an environment for your cat that meets their needs, meets your needs of not having behavior issues with your cats. Pick out nice things and spend a little bit more to get a quality piece of cat furniture that your cat will actually enjoy. Your cat will thank you for it by not taking a dump on your couch.